Hello, Danky Kang Gang. It's Comrade Danky here, and in today's episode, we're going to talk about a little dude, the man of the hour, as it were. Rationality rules. And I dare say, rationality does not rule in this day and age, ladies and gentlemen. The skeptic community is a sham. It's a scam. It's just a skid mark on the underpants of the internet. It was a dream, ladies and gentlemen, ethereal and like wind. It just blew away, ladies and gentlemen. The skeptic community, for me, was at one time a community that I called my home. It was a community that, for a lot of people who felt very marginalized, very trapped in this sort of religious society in which we live. And I'm allowed to say that because I live in the fucking deep south. And for a lot of kids like me who were trapped in this hyper-religious deep south culture, the skeptic community was a place of shelter. And we shared common struggle. We shared common struggle with women who were oppressed by these radical Christians that wanted to take away their right to decide what to do with their body. We shared common cause with people of color who often felt discriminated against, at least in the churches that I went to, and I went to many folks. We had common cause with LGBT individuals most of all, because of obvious reasons. The church being their number one enemy in this country. And so I really, in embracing skepticism, logic, reason, all that dorky shit, when I donned my fedora at the age of 17 and I walked away from religion and never looked back, there was a time where I looked up to people like Matt Dillahunty, the Atheist Community of Austin, and their public access call-in show, The Atheist Experience. I looked at their videos every single day, and I watched these guys' videos every single day because the kinds of questions that they were answering were the kinds of questions that I had going on in my head. And so, what has happened recently with the atheist community of Austin and with Matt Dillahunty is sort of a microcosm of what is happening with the atheist and skeptic community as a whole. What happened, ladies and gentlemen, to cut it to the chase, is that they sold out. They fucking sold out, and they realized they could get more ad revenue, they could get more traffic, their videos could get more clicks and more hits if they just decided to start attacking feminism, the femoids, the SJWs, and the trans people. That's what happened, ladies and gentlemen. And so you had just this schism, and I talked about it in my past videos, but you had this schism in the so-called skeptic community where they pretty much abandoned logic and reason. They abandoned egalitarianism, they abandoned intersectionality, they rejected all of that. They rejected the idea of atheism plus, which was sort of a broader intersectional movement that was meant to use the momentum of the atheist community and combine it with social justice to actually, get some shit done besides take down some Ten Commandment monuments. I'm sorry. I oil my fedora just as much as you do, Matt Dillahunty, but forgive me if I don't give a flying fuck about a Ten Commandment monument on a public courthouse when there are 7 bajillion more important issues at play here, such as fighting capital, such as fighting against transphobia, something which I'm sad to say I am fighting against you on, my friend. And I say that genuinely as a former friend of yours, Matt. we met in person one time. Maybe in part 2 I'll pull up like a picture of me. Not show my face, of course, but I had my picture taken with Matt, and we spoke briefly, but we spoke nonetheless. We were very amicable, and I looked up to you. But what you have done to the trans community is unforgivable and inexcusable. So what did he do, ladies and gents? Well, as you can see, this is Atheist Experience 23.18 with Matt Dillahunty, Cosmic Skeptic, and Rationality Rules. Now, Rationality Rules sounds, familiar. It's because he's the guy we were talking about in the very beginning. And he made some very troubling, transphobic as fuck videos. Namely, this one, The Mistakes of Many Transgender Athletes, a reply to Essence of Thought, do transgender athletes have an unfair advantage? Basically, he's coming out saying transgender people bad because of sports. And then he just throws all this pseudoscientific bullshit cherry-picked quote-unquote studies out there to try to support his dipshit fucking prejudiced discriminatory argument. And that's the thing with all these fucking prejudiced assholes, is that they try to use science to justify their beliefs in the exact same way that the Nazis tried to use like race science and phrenology and stuff to justify their subjugation of races and people they deemed lesser. Rationality Rules is doing the same fucking thing to trans people. He's saying, trans people, you don't deserve to be treated. Trans women, you're not real women. Trans men, you're not real men. You don't deserve to compete with real men. You don't deserve to compete with real women. And for the record, I don't believe that. I believe like the opposite of that. I think trans women are women, period. Trans men are men, period. In the words of the Iron Giant, you are what you choose to be. I'm gonna quote Hogarth. And you know I am keen on my fucking Iron Giant lore. But anyway, this fucking chud being featured on the Atheist Experience made a lot of people sour. It soured a lot of folks, and rightly so, because, the ACA was occupied by women, by trans people, by LGBT people of all stripes. And so to see this fucking chud just get his fucking time in the sun, 3-hour fucking podcast on this show, just is insulting. Not only insulting, but it's harmful. Because I don't know about you guys, but in the South, and especially in Texas, it's not very friendly to trans people. So maybe, I don't know, show some fucking solidarity. Take some fucking compassion for the trans people that get their asses kicked every single day by this society. Like, if anyone should give a fuck, it should be you guys, but you don't. But we're gonna see how they boned them specifically. We're gonna cover that. But right now, let's just hear it straight from the horse's mouth. This is fucking Matt Dillahunty trying to explain himself. So let me pause the music. We're gonna hear it straight from this guy.
Feelings about being hurt about the statement. In a way, the ACA is, because he was led to leave here with the opinion that...
I'm gonna rewind it just a tad so we can get context.
I feel like we've hit most of this.
God damn it! It started all the way over.
Let's
right. 10-minute mark.
This now, and so
I disagree. I think it was.
I'm gonna start at the beginning of this phone call.
Was something that's somewhat problematic because this organization, met people here, etc.
Damn it! I was told it
the
started
original statement.
I was told it started at 10:30, but it doesn't.
Material
fucking starts at fucking 4 minutes before. It's
feelings.
Jesus Christ. I wish I was good at making videos. I could just fucking cut this out. This is a fucking disaster.
bad arguments and everything else.
I'm
Stephen's
literally
immediate response to me and to everyone
I'm literally gonna have a fucking panic attack. Jesus, holy shit.
else who brought this up to him was to say, yes, I fucked up. And when I get back home, I'm going to be releasing an apology and a correction. But you know what? That wasn't good enough for us. That wasn't good enough for me. That wasn't good enough for the other people who were talking to him. So we spent the better part of a week and a half while he was here on vacation talking to him about this subject repeatedly to make sure that he understood what the problems were and what action he was going to take. And because of that interaction, because he was somebody who immediately acknowledged that he messed up and that he was planning to correct it when he got home, we had confidence that this issue would be satisfactorily resolved. And that was the reason that I decided to go ahead and have him on the program.
Right. Right. I understand that. I understand. But
Okay.
none of us are privy to your...
So, Rationality Rules made the transphobic video, which he assured Matt he was going to go back and redact everything he said. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. And so that's why Matt allowed him on his show. All right, Matt, would you allow a guy on your show who said, oh, I don't know, something like we should lynch all people of race X? Would you let that guy on your show? If he said on the flight over, oh yeah, well, you know, I'll totally denounce it in a video later on. Would Matt be totally fine? Oh yeah, come on my show then. That's fine. No, I mean, dude, your fucking transphobia is showing, Matt. That's not a fucking excuse. Because he was gonna apologize later? That's bullshit. The only reason you should have had him on your show is if you would have made him apologize right then and on the air and held his balls to the fire. But you didn't do that, did you, Matt? You fucking cradled his balls, didn't you? You stuck up for your transphobic chud drinking buddy, and you threw trans people under the bus. Absolutely shameful, dude.
private conversations. What I
Exactly.
saw,
Yeah.
what I saw was an initial statement from the ACA that I agreed with
I know.
and was completely in.
All right, so to give a little bit more backstory, the ACA, upon this idiot's appearance, Rationality Rules appearance on the Atheist Experience, they published a statement denouncing transphobia, denouncing Rationality Rules, saying that he was transphobic. What can we do to make the Atheist Experience better for the trans community? Yada, yada, yada. Matt Dillahunty and his stupid little cronies and his chuds and the Rationality Rules little goober chud army pitched a shit fit. Their tendies were cold. They ran out of good boy points. They were cashed out, ladies and gents, and they were pissed as fuck. And you will see, but they forced a redaction on this statement. They fucking kicked everybody out of the ACA who even supported the initial statement denouncing transphobia. They just kicked them all out. Fucking Tracy Harris. She resigned because she was like, this is just a fucking farce. You've turned the atheist community of Austin into your little fucking chud club. And so when I said that this whole experience was a microcosm of the skeptic community at large, it's true. The skeptic community just became co-opted by chuds, by the anti-SJW clickbait chuds that we see occupy all the fuck over YouTube nowadays. And it's such a shame to see Matt Dillahunty fucking defending the chuds and throwing trans people under the bus. But again, I'm repeating myself. In part 2, we will explore a little bit more about this controversy. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, Matt, very disappointed, dude. Very disappointed.